Do you want to become a successful entrepreneur someday? Do you want to learn from people who have successfully jumped from employment to entrepreneurship? Do you want to learn from executives who are living the real story, the real life of how they have successfully shifted and reinvented their career? Well, if you answered yes to any of these questions, I have a very, very special guest, and I'm very blessed today because this person actually is one of the person who changed my life. Before I bring him on, say, let me give a quick story about him. You know, in my journey of trying to find myself and what am I meant to do in this world, I met Sir Dodong Cacanando. And I think I've traveled to many countries, many places, attending programs, working with other coaches. But what makes Sir Dodong unique is how he used the principles of the Bible for business, for leadership, and life. And I never really understood and I never knew how the Bible is a self help development book. And as I reflect now, everything that I learned in my personal development journey is actually in the Bible. But Sir Dodong, I think his gift is explaining those details in very simplistic terms and how he explains how God is the source of everything in your life. And I think when I came to Bukidnon, it really changed my life because number one, it helped me understand the simplicity of life and how God designed it. Second, I got more clarity of what God really meant for me. And third, I was so inspired by Sir Dodong that I actually started my own business because I also want to be fruitful and steward of God's love and creation. Now, for those of you who don't know me yet, let me introduce myself. My name is Wandalin Tan Kalupig. I am the 2021 number one most influential Filipina on LinkedIn, also a Best Career Coach awardee. Well, I'm doing this career reinvention series because my goal is to help people understand that you know what's possible for Sir Dodong from being an executive to an agripreneur is possible for you too. I also want people to understand that if I can achieve whatever I want in life, so can you. So before I actually bring him on stage, let me read more because I know he has a very very good profile. And let me just read more about Sir Dodong. Just give me a few minutes. Dodong Cacanando used to be Hewlett Packard Assistant Country Manager for their Test and Measurement Division in 1998. But he moved to Bukidnon, a place where there neither had families nor friends. He started Moriah Farms, and Moriah Farm has grown into one of the biggest lettuce supplier of pack noodles and KFC in the Philippines. And because of Sir Dodong's successes in entrepreneurship, that inspired him to teach other executives and businesses in terms of how he's using the Bible and how he grew his business to where it is today. And what I love also about Sir Dodong, he believes that the experience he had in corporate world is the things that he learned as a farmer made him a better entrepreneur. Now, rather than more introduction, I think let me bring him on stage. Sir Dodong, thank you, thank you. I know you're here in Dubai, which actually makes me very, very excited. I know a lot of people, they're very blessed because they don't have to go to Bukidnon to learn from you. But please tell us first about the event that's happening on March 18.
Wanda, maraming salamat talaga, no. I was so happy to meet you again today, no. Ang tagal na natin bago nagkita and so happy na to hear your success and you're on your own already. So happy ako because I was able to at least contribute a little. You know, I'm here sa Dubai because I'll be joining si Randall Chongson and si Marvin Gurmo for this money talk sa Saturday, March 18. During that event, maganda yung combination because si Randall always, naman si Randall always talks about personal finance. So, ang hope niya is to be able to teach all OFWs to be able to take care of their money. Si Marvin naman will talk about how to invest it para habang nagtatrabaho ka, papalaki mo. Ako, ang hope ko, ang contribution ko, siguro pag meron ka ng pera, naalagaan mo na siya Sana I can teach people how to become an entrepreneur. Naniniwala kasi ako na mas malaki ang balik ng pera pag ininegosyo natin. Some people stop in just investing, di ba? And feeling nila
True.
passive income. Ang hope ko, inegosyo natin kasi mas malakas ang return nun. And then sa March 19 naman, I will do a farm for profit seminar. Doon naman sana
Mm.
ang gawa ko is to be able to explain to people paano ba pakitain ng isang farm. Ang karamihan ng tao, Wanda, akala nila farming is just about planting crops, raising livestock. Kaya hindi sila kumikita because they do not treat it as a business. So, yun ang hope ko sa Sunday. Sana I can help people understand ano ba tong negosyo ng farming na to. So, yun, Wanda. That's the
Mm.
reason I'm here sa Bukidnon, sa Dubai.
So thank you. I think that's a powerhouse combination, right? As you said, Sir Randall Chongson will talk about personal finance, Marvin Guillermo will talk about investing, and now I'll talk about entrepreneurship. That's March 18th. For those people, I will drop the link here. Please get your tickets. I think this is a very good opportunity for us to learn from Sir Dodong and the other great speakers. Similarly, on March 19, now if you do have a farm business, maybe if you plan to have one someday, farm for profit, I visited Moriah Farms and I was really I cannot explain the words. I will never forget the experience because you really feel the prosperity, the fruitfulness of how you were able to make use of. I think it's one of the things that what true sustainability is, because I saw how Sir Dodo made profit in everything, plus he has no waste because he was able to utilize everything for a big purpose. Now let's go to the first question, Sir Dodong. I know you used to be, actually, when I read your book, because my friend gave it to me, immediately I said, I want to meet this person. I want to learn from him because your story was really inspiring in terms of how you moved to Bukidnon without family and without knowing anybody, and left your assistant country manager position in HP. Can you tell us more story about this career evolution?
Okay? Hindi ko lang sabihin sa inyo, Wanda, paano kami napunta doon. That's a long story. Maubos oras
Ayan.
natin. But what I really want to siguro explain to you is yung connection ng corporate world sa entrepreneurship. Many of the OFWs today are basically corporate employees.
True.
And one
Mm.
of the thing I realized was ibang-iba ang mundo ng corporate sa entrepreneurship. Na
Mm.
in fact, while I think I was relatively successful in HP, akala ko 'pag nagnegosyante ako, gano'n pa rin, I will be successful. And ibang-ibang mundo siya. And that's the reason why for the first 4 years ko as an entrepreneur, I lost a lot of money. Siguro
Mm.
one of the things na na-realize ko, alam mo 'pag corporate ka, you're an employee, 'pag nagkamali ka, sasaluhin ka ng kumpanya. 'Di ba, they
True. Mm.
even encourage you to make mistakes so that you will learn.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
when you're a corporate person, medyo mas bold ka, matapang ka gumawa ng desisyon. When I became an entrepreneur, alam mo 'pag nagkamali ako nawawalan ng pera. So, iba sila
Mm.
na approach, and I realized the reason why many people who came from the corporate world, 'pag naging entrepreneur, initially nawawalan ng pera kasi akala niya it's about taking risk, eh. And
True.
And dun nga sa March 18, gusto ko pakita ano ang proseso ng pag-move from
Mm.
corporate papunta sa entrepreneurship. Ano yung mind ng isang entrepreneur. So, ang hope ko talaga makatulong kasi sayang yung pera ng mga OFW 'pag hindi nila naintindihan yung journey na yon. So, isa yun sa
Yeah, that's good. I agree.
so yun yung isa kong major na kuwan, no, na learning. And the other learning, many people will ask me, paano ko malalaman na it's time for me to leave the corporate world and be on my own? I answer,
Mm.
sabi ko, dalawa ay ang magde-decide kung ready ka na. One, when you know how to take care of your money, and you know
Mm.
how to manage people. Yung dalawang
Mm.
yun ang pinaka-importanting skill. Kasi akala ng iba, "Oh,
Mm.
may maganda akong idea, puwede na ako magnegosyo." 'Pag hindi ka
Yeah.
marunong magdala ng tao, 'pag hindi ka marunong magpadami ng pera mo, huwag ka
True.
mag-e-entrepreneur. 'Di ba yung iba, they will take risk. sasabihin ko sa kanila, marunong ka na ba mag-ipon? Pag hindi ka marunong mag-ipon, huwag ka maging negosyante, mauubos pera mo. That's what I tell them. So yung dalawa na yon, when you're good with handling money, kaya importante din, they attend you kay Randall, and when you're
Mm-hmm.
good in managing people. Pag hindi ka marunong magdala ng tao, like for example, ikaw, Wanda, you have been able to transition, you know how to handle people. Alam mo, can you imagine pag nagnegosyo ka tapos hindi ka patient, hindi ka caring, mawawala kliyente mo, di ba?
That's true. I agree with you, sir. And I think what I also learned from you, you actually have mentioned very important points in terms of there's a different mindset shift that's required from being an employee to an entrepreneur. Because as you said, sir, right? If you made a mistake as an employee, the employer is okay with that. You still get
Yeah,
employed. But as an entrepreneur, it will lead to losses in terms of
yeah,
your cash,
yeah.
clients. And I think what you also importantly said, money management and people management, these are
Mm,
critical skills in business, and I
mm,
think these are things that they need to learn. Now I think the other question I have is, a lot of people are scared, if I jump into entrepreneurship, I'm gonna lose this skill set. It's gonna be a waste of my life because I will not use whatever experience and expertise
no.
I have. What are your comments about it? Because that's the number one fear, that my life has been wasted if I jump into doing something
No,
totally new.
sa akin, Wanda, ang belief ko, entrepreneur starts when you are an employee. Yun ang maraming
Mm,
tao nagsasabi, ba't ka empleyado? Sayang panahon mo, magnegosyo ka na lang. Alam mo, ang natutunan ko, the best way to train to become an entrepreneur is be an employee. Now, why do I say that? Di ba sa
mm,
eskwela, you learn from teachers na walang experience. So they teach you theory, hindi pa nila na-apply. When you are an employee, you get to learn from entrepreneurs, from your bosses. Also,
mm.
you take your employment as part of your training. So when I was in HP, alam mo, Wanda, ambisyoso ako eh. Gusto ko maging GM sana noon ng HP. So lahat
Mm.
pinag-aralan ko HR, accounting, marketing, pinag-aralan ko yun because I wanted to be GM. Pero yun ang
Mm.
nasabit ko noon when I became an entrepreneur. I know a
Ah,
little about HR, I know a little. It was not enough, pero nakatulong. So, para sa akin, employment is the best path to entrepreneurship because one nga, you get to learn from practicing entrepreneur. Second, pag
mm.
nagkamali ka, 'di ba? Hindi ka nawawalan ng pera. And third, you get to understand business. Ikaw pa binabayaran. 'Di ba sa eskwelahan, nag-aaral ka, ikaw nagbabayad. Pag
True.
employee ka, ikaw na nag-aaral, binabayaran ka pa. So, yun ang
Mm.
tingin ko, dapat you look at your employment as a path to entrepreneurship. So, whatever you're doing, you should always do your best para ihanda ka sa future. Karamihan
Mm.
kasi empleyado, kala nila sweldo-sweldo, hindi sweldo yan. Learning
True.
yan for your future. So, yun ang gusto ko maintindihan. Your path is starting today as employees.
So I think as I was reflecting on my life, that you're right, the employment is a path to entrepreneurship because the learnings I had, I mean, as a certified public accountant, I mean, I work in taxation also for Intel Philippines. And,
Mm,
because I've worked with these big multinational companies, I've seen the structure, the
mm,
standards, the
mm,
strategy. And when I
mm.
started coaching these business owners in partnership with the Department of Trade and Industry,
Mm,
I can right away sense what's wrong and what's missing because I know what's working in terms of what are the successes of these multinational companies, right? So tama
yes,
kasi really, it's really a
yes.
training path.
Ang kinaganda, ang mahirap kasi, Wanda, if you're an
Mm-mm.
entrepreneur na and then galing sa school, naging entrepreneur ka, ang kulang do'n, walang structure. So
True.
pagka
Mm.
nagka-corporate structure ka, ang problema naman ng corporate na naging entrepreneur, wala silang puso ng entrepreneur. Ano yung puso?
Mm.
Yeah, be careful when you make decision. Do not take a lot of risk. In fact, sa Saturday, sa March 18, papakita ko because normally, 'di ba, ang definition ng entrepreneurship, take financial risk. I will
Yeah.
show you I did not take financial risk kasi wala akong pera nung simula one day. What can I risk kung wala ako? And yet we were able to grow. So there's another
Mm.
process of succeeding without taking a lot of risk. So explain ko yun sa kanila, ano dadaanan nila. So So when you become an entrepreneur, when you corporate ka, naging entrepreneur ka, be careful because you still do not have the
Mm.
heart of an entrepreneur, but you have the structure of the corporate. Pag pinagsama mo yun, amazing combination yan.
I think that's a very interesting topic, no? And I think a lot, I mean, I guarantee, that's why I'm very excited to have you as my guest because I know, right, the way you teach Sir Dodong, I love how you said na you can start business without taking so much financial risk. Kasi a lot of people will advise, take the risk, do it, go for it. But they don't know you're gonna burn yourself in the process without the
Mm,
lack of, finances, right
mm,
support for you. And I think it's always important to learn, test,
mm,
and then always adjust. And I think the best way to learn more than books is learning from people like you
mm.
who have been there, who have
Yeah.
failed many times and learned their lessons. Kasi it's a shortcut to success, di ba, sir?
Yeah,
So,
in fact,
maganda
mas
talaga.
shortcut siya para bang 'di ba pag galing ka sa eskuwela, naging entrepreneur ka, ang dami mong mali, paso 'yan, ubos pera.
Mm.
Yun na nga eh, 'di ba sa corporate, subok ka, it is not your company. However,
Mm.
yung learning naman, parang ako noon, I committed a lot of mistakes sa HP. Basta mag-meet ko lang yung quota ko, okay na ako. Maski marami ako nawalang pera. 'Di ba maganda yun? However, I
Mm.
did not realize that when I was in HP. Reklamo ko sa trabaho ko. Ngayon ko lang siya
Mm.
naintindihan. Lahat ng nakatulong sa akin, yun yung mga failure ko nun sa HP. Ang
I like
nagbayad
that.
ko nun, hindi
Mm.
ako. Okay.
Maganda yun, sir, no? Every failure is truly a growth opportunity. Ito rin ang natutunan ko. Failure is never a failure and because as long as you learn from it. Now, let's talk about entrepreneurship as a form of stewardship because this is one of the things and how do we really use the Bible, di ba? You know what and I'm telling you, Sir Dodong, you are the only one I know who teaches Bible this way and who really teaches about how can you apply the simple principles of the Bible in your business and in life. Can you talk more about, these principles that can help people really, become happier because we're living in a so much stress distracted world.
Tingnan mo ha, most people believe kanila yung negosyo.
Mm,
Kailangan nila ayusin yon. One of the
mm,
thing I learned as I studied the business, wala akong pag-aari, kay God yan. Now, the only problem is, pag hindi ka naniniwala kay God, ako
mm,
naniniwala na lahat ng bagay na to sa Panginoon, hiniram lang natin ito. So since merong ibang may-ari, all I have to do is do my best. I always try. Ang goal ko, Wanda, is to be the best every day. Yun lang goal ko para
mm.
makuha yung may-ari. Now, Wanda, meron kang empleyado. Ang galing magtrabaho. Anong gagawin mo para sa kanya? Di ba i-bless mo siya? So every day
True.
I want to be pleasing to the Lord. Gagawin ko mabuti. Pero ang mindset ko, I do this as a practical responsibility sa kanya. Steward nga, di ba? And dito nakikita
Mm,
ko, amazing yung mga grasya na dumating sa buhay namin kasi may katulong ako. Noon, akala ko
mm,
akin yung negosyo, pag nalulugi, ako maghahanap ng paraan. Ngayon, pag medyo mahirap ako sa negosyo, sabi ko kay God, Lord, yung negosyo mo, nahihirapan, you better provide for it. Kasi hindi ko naman,
yeah.
So, less stress ako today. I don't know if you agree, Wanda, no, people will tell me, you don't look your age because I'm 60 already. Kasi I don't stress myself. Hindi man akin yung negosyo na yun, God yan.
Mm,
So, ang ganda nung pakiramdam na merong ibang may-ari na ayusin niya. Like for example, during the pandemic, we even grew. Di ba marami nagsara
wow.
during the pandemic?
Mm,
Farm
yeah.
even grew. Most farm closed during the pandemic. Kami lumaki
Mm,
pa. I always tell people, and ito isa kong message, Wanda, I
mm,
found a better way of doing business. And it is
mm.
following the ways of the Lord. Di ba, I wish I
Ah,
can teach this to all people kasi gusto ni God mag-enjoy ka sa buhay mo today. So that's the reason
mm.
why I teach the way I teach.
That's good, no? And I think actually, Sir Dodong, when I met you, I said like, "Wow, you never age, right?" That's so. Imagine you said you're a senior citizen, 6 years old. I
Oh,
said, "What? Seriously?" And I think that speaks for itself because you remove all the stress away and give it to God, saying, "This is not my business. My business is God's business." So that's why, regardless of what's happening in the economy, all your needs are provided, di ba, sir? Maganda yon. Actually, ang ginagawa ko lang, one of my affirmation is, God's business is my business. God guides and govern all my activities. And actually, when I think of what are the things I do every day, I don't really plan it all. I only always pray, show me the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Because we have limited understanding.
Yan, 'di ba nung nasa corporate ako, Wanda,
Yeah.
strategic planning, plan for the future. You plan for
Mm,
the future eh. So ako lang alam ang ginagawa ko while I like to think na I have a direction from the Lord, all I need to do is do my best every day. And ayusin yun. When I say do my best, let me just explain. Empleyado ka.
mm,
Pinagalitan ka ng boss mo. Anong do your best? Sabi mo, I've done my best. Rineject ako ng boss. Hindi. Pinagalitan ka ng boss mo. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo ginawa yung gusto niya. Di ba? Kasi
true.
sa ito frustration ng maraming tao, I
Uh,
have done my best. Dahil niya rineject.
mm,
Pag nireject niya, ibig sabihin, hindi mo ginawa yung tama para sa kanya. So, gawin mo lang,
true.
tanongin mo, boss, ano ba tama para sa'yo? Now, because God gave you that boss, doing the best for the Lord is also doing what is right for your boss. Huwag ka lang gumawa ng kasalanan. 'Di ba? So,
Mm,
I feel like, 'di ba, Wanda, today marami ang mental health issues. The only
yeah.
reason meron kang mental health issues, pinipilit mo yung best mo. Hindi naman
Mm,
importante yung best mo, importante kung ano yung tama para sa'yo, para sa boss mo, para sa organization. Tapos 'pag nagawa mo yun, matutuwa pa yung boss mo. Alagaan ka pa ng boss mo. 'Di ba yun ang ibig ko sabihin, I do my best for the Lord. I try to become a good person for the Lord.
ganda yun. Parang sir, may version niya, work for God and not for men. And I think it's the way you explain it. And yun na yung sinasabi ko lagi na, this reminds me of the story. I remember one time my boss told me, "You failed me, Wanda." And sa sarili ko, I was like, "No, I did my best." And the way I responded was that, "I believe I never fail. I only learn. So tell me, how can I do
Yeah,
better?"
tama yun. Tama yun. When your boss tells you, "You failed me," ang tanong sa boss, "Boss, anong dapat kong gawin so that I will not fail
Mm,
again?" 'Di ba? Tanungin mo na lang. Pag hindi sasabihin naman nila. Kaso lang maraming tao pag sabihin, "You failed me," alis kang lungkot-lungkot mo, sama-sama ng loob mo. You can ask your boss, saan ka
true.
nag-fail? Bakit ka nag-fail? So that next time hindi na mangyari. We
Yeah,
just have to be wiser.
yeah, true. And I think it's always feedback kasi your perfect is different from the perfect of
Yes,
another person. It
yes,
doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just difference in
yes.
perspective, di ba, sir?
'Di ba ang issue sa trabaho hindi naman right and wrong, eh, style, eh.
Yeah,
May style ka, may style boss mo. Since hindi
yeah,
ka pa boss, ang masusunod style ng boss mo. 'Di ba today,
true.
today you're
Yeah.
in business, 'di ba? I'm sure you're
Mm,
handling some people, managing people. 'Di ba, iba style mo sa style nila. Pero since you're the boss,
yeah.
importante yung style mo, ikaw ang boss, eh. Sabihin nung tao,
Mm-mm.
paano naman yung style ko?" Maghintay ka na ikaw ng boss. Puwede na yung
Yeah.
style mo.
True. The boss is always right, di ba? I mean, that principle is true in the concept of, understanding expectation and meeting that. Kasi of course, you'll be
Yeah,
also promoted, graded,
yeah, 'di
or,
ba?
reviewed based on the performance, which is not your own expectation, the expectations of your boss. Tama ka dun, sir. Yeah, that's very true. So next
Yeah.
question, because a lot of people think that you have to you have to sacrifice something to be successful. And siguro I want to ask, what's that number one struggle that you had, and how did you overcome that?
Ang number one struggle ko, akala ko noon, it is about your product, it is about your
Mm,
business. At the
mm,
end of this day, with all my experience, I realize it's all about you. Ano ibig
mm,
sabihin? The most painful learning ko is to realize na hindi ako magaling, may kulang ako. I
mm,
realize na meron akong flaw sa character ko. So, I realized it's just all about me. Most of the
ah,
time, Wanda, minsan we blame the market, we blame
yeah,
other people, we blame the pandemic. Alam mo, all of those things are there. Wala tayong magagawa. The only person you can change is you. So all
mm,
this time, my business improved when I realized ako lang may problema. Dumating yung pandemic. lahat naman mapapandemic, di ba?
True,
Minsan,
opo.
Wanda, nung nagka-pandemic, binataranta yung tao ko. Sabi ko sa mga tao ko, okay lang yun. Pati kalaban natin mapapandemic. Pagalingan na lang to. So,
Mm.
pandemic, nagsara sila. Okay?
Ah.
Kami nag-survive, lumaki pa kami. Because inayos namin sarili namin. So,
Mm.
my greatest struggle and my greatest learning is controlling myself.
Tama.
Diba?
Mm.
May nagalit sa akin. Imbis na magalit ako in return, I ask myself, ba't siya nagalit? Nagkaroon ng El Nino. Nagkaroon
Mm.
ng El Nino, wala mo akong magagawa. So I ask myself, how can you improve so that you can manage the El Nino? So nangyayari, Wanda, lahat ng problema namin, it's just about us. It's just about how do we become better. So ginagamit namin yung problema, yung sitwasyon, to become better people. Yun ang ginawa namin sa farm.
Oh, that's good, right? And I think, sir, after mentoring a lot of business owners, what I also see, the problems in the business are actually problems that comes from the business owner. You're right, because our businesses is a reflection of our own self.
Yeah.
And if you use that tool to say, why is this happening in my business? What am I doing that's coming out from me, that's
Yes.
giving it as a result, diba? And then
Yes.
work towards that. Ang
Yes.
galing.
Meron akong kikwento sa iyo, Wanda.
Apo.
One time,
Mm.
inattendan mong training, inattendan ng isang malaking hardware company sa Cagayan. And after
Yeah.
the training, she called me, she ranted for 1 hour complaining about all the problem in her business. And
Mm-hmm.
sabi niya, Dong, I don't like problems in my business. What should I do? Sabi ko, ma'am, if ayaw mo ng problema sa negosyo mo, isara mo yung negosyo mo. Di ba? Kasi
True.
ang negosyo parati
Yeah.
may problema. Pero the
Mm-mm.
problems are there not to hurt you, but to improve
Mm.
you. Di ba there are
Totoo.
opportunities to improve? So dapat huwag ka magalit sa problema. Just respond to them properly.
Tama. I think every problem is an opportunity to grow bigger, to become better. And the good thing about you, sir, you use the problem to become the better version of, your product,
Yes,
yourself. That's how the
yes,
business grew. I mean, in the
yes,
process also. Now,
yes.
sir, siguro another question on, the success, I believe, is about success at work, at home, in business, and in life. It's holistic, eh? You cannot be successful in business but your family is in trouble, or the other way around, because everything is integrated. What is your best advice so people can have success in these areas of life? Because a lot of divorces are happening, a lot of problems, financially, in marriage, in relationship. But for you, I mean, you're one of those living example that you're successful. I think, the way I see you, your family is good, the business is good. You as a person is, I think, you're one of those leader who's really authentic. I mean, when I see you, it's no filter, eh. I mean, a lot of leaders, I mean, you walk the talk. That's what I really appreciate, eh. I remember when I came to Bukidnon, it was a training from 5 a.m. until 8 p.m. tayo nun, sir, eh. And I
Yes,
think
yes,
it was 3 days. But you know what? I never get tired. Because
yes.
I think every word that you said was like direct to my heart, and then I have so much learning na parang ang taas pa ng energy ko after. What's your secret talaga, sir?
Kuwan lang talaga ako, dalawa lang siguro yan, Wanda. One, my goal
Mm.
in life is to please the Lord. Because
Ah.
yun yung goal ko, to please the Lord. 'Pag nagalit
Mm.
yung misis ko, ang tanong ko, "Dong, what's wrong with you?" 'Pag nagalit yung anak ko, ang tanong ko, "Dong, anong problema mo?" Ang
Mm.
kuwan ko lang, ang parati kong tinatanong, ako lang parati. So, parang for example, nagkaroon ng problema sa pera, ako yun. Nagkaroon ng
Mm.
problema sa pamilya, ako yun. Now, posibleng may
Mm.
problema misis ko, posibleng may problema anak ko. Pero you see, I cannot control them, eh. I can only control myself. 'Pag pinagalitan ko sila, 'pag pinagalitan ko, lalong gugulo, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So, I
True.
am hoping that if I adjust, they will adjust also. If they realize that I'm trying to do my best to be a better father, a better husband, a better
Mm.
boss, sila rin mare-realize nila yon. So, gano'n ang nangyayari sa farm namin. Sa farm namin, I make sure my people are successful. So what will my people do? They make sure I am successful. Kasi 'pag hindi ako
Mm.
successful, sila tatamaan. So gano'n
Tama.
lang ako. To me, Wanda, my key is just managing myself. All the rest, I cannot change. Ako lang pwede ko baguhin. Because I do that, I'm trying to be sensitive.
Mm.
People to correct mga mali. Ang nangyayari, divorce. To me, divorce
Yeah.
is may pride. Di ba?
Hmm.
Dalawa may
Opo.
pride. Ang dalan ng empleyado, may union. Okay, may pride yung empleyado, may pride yung boss, di ba? So, pag binago mo sarili mo, feeling ko lang na things will be better.
Hmm.
The only person I manage talaga, Wanda, is myself.
Ganda nun. Sir, parang is the circle of influence, di ba? Which is yourself ka talaga na focus to. At saka Mahatma Gandhi level yan eh. Be the change you want to see in the
Yeah.
world. And I think that that is in simplistic terms how you are actually changing others by changing yourself. Ang ganda,
Yeah.
no? Totoo nga yun. Sir, last question na before we end. Alam ko you're very busy.
It's okay.
What is your best advice to people who want to forge their career path? They want to know whether they're right for business or employment, or those people who are burned out now or who want to leave their job. What is your best advice to them?
First of all, nobody burns out because of work. Okay?
Mm.
You burn out because of the emotions you put at work.
Ay, ang ganda
Nobody,
nun.
di ba? Nobody burns out because of physical work. Di ba? Pag napagod ka, di ba? Physically napagod ka, Wanda, what do you
Yeah.
do? You sleep.
Yeah, true.
Pero if you are emotionally attached to the problem, hindi ka
Yeah.
makatulog. It is the
Mm.
emotions that you put, the mindset that you have. Like for example, pagod ako ngayon, nagtrabaho. May tulog
Yeah.
tayo. Pero yung emotions ang hindi ang mahirap. So
Mm.
kaya nga I'm trying to help people have a better mindset. Anong better mindset? Sabi ko sa kanina, nagalit yung boss. Imbis na
Yeah.
sumabat ko sa boss, tanungin ko yung boss, boss, ano
Mm.
ba dapat kong gawin? So, ang nakaka-stress talaga sa quad is the emotions that you put in which are unnecessary. Lalo,
Mm.
stress ka kasi wala kang pera. Kasi
Yeah.
inubos mo eh. Hindi ka masistress kung hindi mo inubos, di
True.
ba? So, whenever there's a problem, there's a problem in what you are doing.
Yeah.
Okay? So,
Mm.
pag may problema na si stress, like for example, burnout.
Yeah.
Ah, burnout, ang tanong mo, di ba itong for example, depression, it's all emotional Wrong
Mm.
mindset. If you notice, Wanda, I'm a person who corrects mindset. That
Opo,
correct
true.
mindset. Okay? Nag-fail ka. Walang problema
Mm.
mag-fail. Just learn from it. Na-reject ka. Lahat naman tao nare-reject eh. Yung magaling na tao,
Mm.
kunin niya yung rejection, in-improve niya sarili niya, hindi yung nag-reject sa kanya. So,
Mm.
wala, I think yun ang nahihirapan ng tao when they put emotional things to their work. Now, hindi masama emotion basta you
Yeah.
manage it properly. And ako, Wanda, gusto ko malaman ng lahat ng tao, all of you can become entrepreneurs. Naniniwala ako, lahat tayo pwede maging entrepreneur if you just continue to be the best in what you are doing. Kasi when you do your best
Mm.
in what you're doing, later, opportunities will come to you.
True.
Ang
That,
nangyayari kasi ang nangyayari gusto nila dumating yung opportunity for me to become an entrepreneur. No, no, no. You prepare yourself to become an entrepreneur by doing your best every day. And then darating
yeah.
na yun, result lang yun.
Totoo yun eh. I think if you do your best, excellence becomes your habit. And the businesses that you attract, the
Yeah,
opportunities are just a result eh. It's just a result
yeah,
of being, the best version of yourself. And I think
yeah.
people fail to see that. The
Oh,
relationship of it.
ang gusto nila, Wanda, dumating opportunity before I become the best. No, no, no. You become the
Yeah.
best, yung opportunity darating sa'yo. So, simple lang
That,
ang buhay. At the end of the day, simple lang. It's just about
yeah.
you. Yun lang sa akin, it's just
Mm.
about you.
I learned a lot today. Siguro, I think my key learning today, just focus on yourself. Focus also on pleasing God and becoming the best version of yourself, because this is really when the right opportunities will come and find you. And also, everybody can be an entrepreneur. Everybody can really do what they want, but it really requires, sabi mo nga, sir, control yourself, keep on learning, do your best, and of course, remember, do it for God. And it's about stewardship. Now, of course, I want to invite every person, I'm telling you, if I knew Sir Dodong was here, or if I met him years back, I didn't know how that will change my life on another level. But I want, again, Sir Dodong, two levels. Maybe in the future, if you do have these trainings in Bacodon, tell them where they can follow you, where they can find you for corporate trainings, and also yung event mo dito sa Dubai. If you can tell us once again.
Yeah. Ako, I'm at the point, Wanda, na I just want to share to people what I know. So today, I continue to do that sa Facebook, sa YouTube, trying to manage LinkedIn, tuturuan mo ko niyan, 'di
Yeah.
ba? Pero I'm trying, ako naniniwala ako, I have this mindset, 'di ba? Be
Yeah.
fruitful. Meaning, kung
Mm.
ano meron ako, papabigay ko. Kasi
Mm.
it to be shared. So, gano'n ako. Hindi ako madamot sa alam ko. Kasi ang belief ko, hindi naman sa akin, kay God din. So
Mm.
if people would like to understand, you can follow me sa Facebook and also in YouTube. I also do entrepreneur training. I have leadership training also. In the future, I'd like to do values training that is accessible to everybody. It's basically free. So I'm doing something dyan. But for the meantime, join me sa Money Talk ngayong Saturday and sa Farm for Profit ngayong Sunday. Yung sa Bukidnon, we're working to revive it. I just lost my people, my administrator, but we're trying to revive it. Ang gusto ko sana, Wanda, I can make more people like you. 'Di ba? That we can make more successful people like you. Kasi naniniwala ako sa Pilipinas, we've been trying to change leaders. Walang
Yeah.
nangyayari. Ang belief
Mm.
ko, if we change ourselves, and lahat tayo
True.
nag-succeed, o hindi kailangan mag-change hindi kailangan na magaling na leader kasi nag-change na tayo. So yun ang hope ko. I am more of ang target ko is change the life of an individual. Pag nagsama-sama tayo, lahat tayo nag-change, we change the nation. So,
Ganda. Ganda ng vision mo, sir. So, tama. Change the individual, you change the nation. And I think I'm happily saying I'm one of your products and I will always advocate, promote whatever you're doing because I believe so much in what you do. And,
salamat.
I know how much you can impact so much more. So, for those of you, habang nandito si Sir Dodong sa Dubai, catch him March 18 and also March 19. And of course, follow him on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. He's gonna introduce many programs at excited ako para sa Sir Do. If there's any way I can support you, andito
Salamat.
lang ako lagi para sa iyo.
Salamat. Salamat. Salamat.
So
Salamat.
thank you, Sir Dodong. I will drop the links for those people. They can buy the tickets and then they can find you. Are there any other messages you want to share?
No, ako lang gusto ko magpasalamat sa iyo. You were a parang nice surprise nung nag-contact ka. And I'd like to thank you for just giving me the opportunity to tell people what I'm doing. Ang gusto ko malaman nila na I do this for the Lord. Because
Mm,
naniniwala ako, tinuruan ako ni God so that I can share to them. Sana they will give me the opportunity to bless them.
ay nako. I'm sure they will very be blessed. So catch Sir Dodong March 18 and March 19 here in Dubai. If you cannot join virtually, he has upcoming programs. And if you do need some corporate trainings, I think Sir Dodong will be best on servant leadership, fruitfulness, stewardship. He's really something very different. So thank you, Sir Dodong. For those who are watching us live, for only we would like to thank you. And see you soon, Sir Dodong.
Salamat, Wanda. God bless you. God
God
bless you.
bless. Thank you.